Britt Baker, D.M.D, one of the foundational pillars of AEW's women's division, a former AEW Women's World Champion and a bona fide star who carried the division for a significant amount of time. She's got the look, the charisma, and the in-ring ability, but lately, if you're an AEW fan, you might have found yourself asking, where does Britt Baker fit in right now? And more importantly, is there hope for her to return to television and be a dominant force that we all know and love? Despite her being an undeniable talent and past achievements, Britt Baker has been a central uh, piece of AEW for years. But in recent years, though, the central focus of the AEW Women's Division has been without Britt Baker. Here's the thing. There's a two-parter to this video, so stick with me. Number one, we're going to be talking about Thunder Rosa's recent comments about Britt Baker, which has ignited fans talking about, oh, well, is this leading to Britt Baker's return? And another part of the reality of the situation. So let's get to Thunder Rosa's comments first, okay? So Thunder Rosa obviously had a legendary feud with Britt Baker in AEW in 2021. Obviously, their infamous hardcore match, and on Dynamite, the bloody match, right? Great match, great feud, such a good time in AEW's history. And she teased the possibility of renewing the rivalry between the two. She said, well, that was for the Lights Out match. We were the runner-up of Match of the Year for the cage match, but I can tell you that cage match is one of the most brutal, violent, and bloody matches that you'll see two women head-to-head. We didn't end the feud there. I won the championship that Britt Baker had. So I always say I'm still waiting for her to come back because I am her past and her future. So whenever she's ready, I'm ready to finish this beef that we've had for a couple years now. So I was very blessed with her that I was able to headline that Dynamite in 2021 and then Dynamite in 2022. Those are the matches that definitely define my career. Okay, so everyone lost their minds. Oh my God, Thunder Rosa's teasing Britt Baker's return. And it's like, no. She's saying, hey, she's appearing on K-Fox 14, y'all. Right? This is local media. These people are bringing up a feud from 4 years ago. Wouldn't necessarily say that's the most recent feud that Thunder Rosa has had, although she's taken a huge back seat, and I have no idea why. So, calm your jets. It doesn't appear Britt Baker is returning anytime soon to television. There's been no reports, no updates, no mention of her anywhere for months. And here's the second part of my video. Here's why. Let's bring up the issues, right? Both backstage and health-wise. And then let's discuss the elephant in the room. Okay, so her perceived decline, right? She has been used much, much fewer and far between in 2024 and all of 2025 compared to her peak, raising fan concerns. She's suffered injury setbacks, significant injuries. I'm talking about a back injury, a hip injury, and a freaking mini stroke kept her sidelined for the large portion of 2024. She didn't return until the summer. Now, even after her returning, her booking has been inconsistent, leading to questions about AEW's creative plans or their lack of. She had a notable feud with Mercedes Moné going into All In last year and then just kind of disappeared, right? She teased doing a feud with Serena Deeb, but she was a start and stop. She didn't appear kind of booking, right? There's also backstage heat or having difficulties in 2024. I'm talking about her reported altercation with MJF and Alicia Atut. General unpopularity within the AW locker room has been reported, though some sources claim that was exaggerated. Her contract status is reportedly secure for some time. She's under contract for at least 2 years, and AW could easily add more time to it. However, Tony Khan is reportedly just kind of fed up with her backstage issues, and everything that comes along with it, and he just simply doesn't want to use her. Now, here's another problem, and it's a problem that fans do not talk about that often. The current landscape of the AEW Women's Division, it's involved with new stars, with Mercedes Moné, Thomas Toni Storm, Mariah May, Willow Nightingale, Julia Hart, Sky Blue, etc. So where does Britt Baker fit in here, right? Now, she could be put back on television tomorrow, and they could easily, get back her career to where it was. How do they do that? Well, it's significant, well-booked feuding, right? Put her in a feud. Put her in feuds that work very well. Give her a refresh or an evolution of her character. Consistent TV timing, meaningful storylines. Get her in the ring. Have her win matches. Have her cut promos. And a clear direction from AEW that she remains a valued top-tier talent. Many fans still see Britt Baker as a major star and a desire for her to return to prominence as D.M.D. Here's the reality of the situation, y'all. I'm sorry to tell you, I don't think Britt Baker is going to be back on AEW television. I think there has been so much go on with Britt Baker. You have to keep in mind, before she was sidelined with the mini stroke, she was openly criticizing AEW for the lack of usage on television. Talking about how she didn't get promo time, that she wasn't booked. Then she was sidelined. She comes back, big push, and she puts over Mercedes Moné. Start and stop pushes, and then just gone. And then all these reports come out of all these issues. I think there are certain people in life that no matter how talented they are, their backstage perception, or just perception in general, I guess, is so much so that people will overlook their talent and go, we just don't want to work with you. And for whatever reason, whether it's true or not, and this is coming from a Britt Baker fan, I think Britt Baker would thrive in WWE. I think it is a massive mistake that she is not used by AEW. But there has to be something in regards to why did the backstage issues or alleged issues come to light. I don't know about the unpopularity in the locker room. I cannot speak to that. Can I think that it is a reasonable statement to make that there were those who took issue with Britt Baker's huge push in 2020 and 2021 and 2022, and maybe she didn't handle the situation that well? She's a young athlete at the time, right? And it got to her head maybe? I can see that. Is she not hearing herself in the right way? I can see that. I can also see a lot of people just being jealous and making up rumors and Britt Baker now being that person. I can see that too, right? We weren't there. We don't know. The MJF thing, there's been so many accounts to it. There had to have been something gone down, so I tend to believe that. Whether MJF was wrong, whether Britt Baker was wrong, honestly, don't care. But it's something happened, right? There's also a situation. We have seen this time and again. Ricky Starks had issues, and he's thriving in WWE. Jake Cargill had issues with the locker room towards the end, thriving in WWE. I have a rule. If you are somewhere where there are issues, and you go somewhere else and there are not issues, it was probably the place that you had been as issue. Okay? But if you go somewhere and you have issues, and you go somewhere else and you have issues, well, maybe it's just happenstance. Maybe it wasn't your fault. You go to a third place and you have issues, maybe you're the problem. I cannot speak to Britt Baker. I cannot speak to the issues in which she may or may not have. What I can say is this: Britt Baker is extremely talented. She's a great in-ring character, right? She's not the greatest worker in the world in terms of in-ring skill base, but she's still pretty good. And her promos, and her character work, top notch. I've said it once, say it again. If I'm WWE, I'm going in there and I'm giving Britt Baker a blank check. I'm doing whatever it takes to sign her, which I don't think it'll be much, considering that AEW clearly doesn't want to use her. Clearly doesn't want her, yet Cody Khan won't let her go. It's an interesting dynamic, isn't it, folks?